All right, let's get to it.
All right, this is the moment I know you've all been waiting for. How do we make the buckle? That's the cool thing. So this particular buckle I have here was done with an epoxy resin with some flame maple. Just to give you guys another option, this was also a flame maple buckle that I made that uses just stain and just a clear spray lacquer over top, and it's actually come out beautiful. I have gloss and I have some matte finished stuff for you guys to use this too. Sometimes the resin is a little bit hit and miss depending on the temperature and the age of the resin and stuff. So this is also a great option just to use stain and a spray lacquer over top. So you're going to pop this in your vise, and we got a bit of sanding to do. Okay, so using a variety of sandpapers and files. And there we go. We have a beautifully sanded buckle. There's no rough edges or corners anywhere in here. Remember that the leather is going to be wrapped around this part of it. You don't want to cut or tear the leather, so everything needs to be really nice and smooth. And so sandpaper, files, we're done. Next step is we need to actually start folding the shape of this thing so that we have some relief for our belt. So we're going to use the actual cut opening here as our bend line. So I'm going to actually be lining this up in my vise along this bottom edge and along this top edge here. All right, so we're going to set this in our vise so that this edge of the opening is right along our vise jaw. We're going to clamp that in place. And we're going to fold it over. And we're going to go, I like to go a little more than 45 degrees. There's no real science to this, but I like to go somewhere around there. Now we're going to put this edge on the top of our vise. Flip it around. We're going to bend this back now so it kind of looks like an S. And at this point, we actually do want to use a hammer and a punch. We want to put the pressure on the two little flaps that are left there, and not, if we just push this back, it's not going to work as crisp or as well for us. There we go. We're going to bend that back so that the backing plate is straight up and down. So what we have here is a buckle that now looks like that. Okay, the next step is we need to bend the post out that's going to go into our adjustment holes on the belt. And I want to bring this post out on the same side as my buckle is offset. And I'm not going to bend this post all the way 90. Again, using our little punch. So we're going to leave that post at about that angle. That'll give a good grip on our adjustment holes in our belt. Now that that post is bent out, now we can get in here with some sandpaper and sand this post up really nice too. Okay, so now it's time to actually set our buckle onto our backing plate, and that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to mix up some 5-minute epoxy. We're just using a scrap board here. So some 5-minute epoxy. Just pull the handles back a little bit so that it doesn't continue to ooze out. Put the cap back on. We're going to mix this up real well. I've got a paper clip here. Once you've got that thoroughly mixed up, we're going to cover the plate. Spread that out nice and even. Stick that down right on your buckle. I think I'm happy with that. So we're going to leave that. This is supposed to cure in about 5 minutes. We're going to leave it for 10 and see what happens. All right, guys, here we are 10 minutes later, and our belt buckle is complete. Our nice flame maple buckle with our steel backing on here. Now, if you want to prevent this just from rusting, we could just spray paint this black on the back. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. That's what I did on this one here. So your choice. We would just mask this sort of edge off and just give this a quick little touch of black, and that'll be it. And that'll be our completed belt buckle done.